All right, let's talk about AI. It's everywhere, right? And the conversation is moving so fast, it's easy to get lost in the noise. So today, we're going to cut right through all of that. This isn't about some complex theory. It's a simple, practical guide on how you can start using AI, like right now, to work faster and smarter. Let's just dive on.
So, be honest, are you feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all this AI talk? Maybe even a little worried about being left behind? If you are definitely not alone. It really can feel like this huge tidal wave of new tools and jargon coming at you, and it's totally normal to feel a little bit of anxiety about it. But what if we're looking at this whole thing the wrong way?
Well, let's try to reframe that thought. The absolute best way to think about AI is as a powerful new tool. Seriously, it's not here to replace you or your skills. Think of it as a co-pilot. It's designed to handle all the boring, repetitive, time-sucking tasks so that you can focus on the work that actually matters, the stuff that requires your brain. It's kind of like a calculator, but for words and ideas. And learning to use it is the real key.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to walk through 5 key areas. First, we'll talk about why this conversation is so important right now. Then, we'll get into the fun stuff, how you can use AI to boost your productivity and maybe even create some new side hustles. After that, we'll look at the skills you actually need, and they might surprise you. And finally, and this is super important, how to use these tools the right way. So let's start with the big picture. There's been a massive shift. People aren't really asking, what is AI anymore? The question everyone is asking now is, okay, how do I actually use it? And when you look at what people are searching for, it's driven by a few very specific and very human motivations.
Yeah, it pretty much boils down to these 3 things. First, there's that fear, right? The drive to not get left behind. Nobody wants to wake up one day and find out their skills are obsolete. Second, it's about seeing an opportunity, a chance to work smarter, save time, or earn more money. And third, it's just about staying relevant and valuable in your career. These 3 things are exactly why practical step-by-step guides to AI are what everyone's looking for.
And that brings us to the first and honestly the most immediate use for AI, turning it into your own personal productivity engine. We're talking about taking back your time and actually improving the quality of your work every single day.
I mean, just think about your own daily grind for a second. How much time do you lose reading through super long reports or just trying to get through your inbox? AI can do that heavy lifting. It can literally summarize a 50-page document for you in seconds, or draft a professional-sounding email from just a few bullet points. It's all about automating the tedious stuff, so you can use your brain for actual thinking.
And hey, this isn't just a nice idea. We've got the data to prove it. A huge study from Harvard Business School just this year found that professionals who use generative AI finished their tasks 25% faster than their peers. 25%! That's like getting a whole quarter of your time back on that work.
But here's the real kicker from that same study. This is the part that blows my mind. It wasn't just about being faster. The work they produced was rated 40% higher in quality. So think about that. You're not trading quality for speed, you're getting both. The AI helps you get a much better first draft, so you can spend your energy making the final product perfect.
Okay, so AI can make your 9 to 5 way easier. That's a huge win. But it's also opening up entirely new ways to make a living. So let's talk about how this translates into new opportunities for income, whether you're a freelancer, an entrepreneur, or just looking for a little side hustle.
The scale of this whole shift is just massive. Goldman Sachs is predicting that generative AI could boost the entire global GDP by 7%. Now, that's not just some abstract number. That represents a huge wave of new businesses, new services, and new jobs being created. This opportunity isn't years away, it's happening right now. So what does that look like in the real world? Well, here's a super simple workflow anyone could follow. You could use an AI to research a business idea, then use it to generate your website copy, your blog posts, maybe even the digital product itself. Then you can set up an AI chatbot for customer service and use it to create all your social media ads. The key thing here is that every single one of these steps is now way less technical than it used to be.
And that leads us to probably the most important part of this whole conversation. What skills do you actually need to learn? Because the answer is probably not what you think it is. We are entering the era of the new no-code skill set.
Okay, let's bust a few myths right now. The biggest fear out there is that you have to be some kind of coder or a data scientist to use AI. The new reality? The skills that matter most are actually human skills. Instead of needing to know how to code, you need to know effective prompting,
which is just a fancy way of saying you need to know how to ask the AI for what you want. Instead of advanced math, you need critical editing skills, knowing how to take what the AI gives you and make it great.
The World Economic Forum calls these hybrid skills, things like prompt engineering. Again, that's just learning how to give clear, effective instructions to an AI. Then there's AI-assisted writing, research, creative problem-solving. You get the idea. It's not about replacing you. It's about augmenting what you can do. You're the strategist. AI is your incredibly powerful intern.
And look, you don't just have to take my word for it. This is backed up by major research from organizations like the OECD and McKinsey. The consensus is pretty clear. AI automates boring tasks, not entire jobs. And what that does is it actually makes human skills like good judgment, strategic thinking, and creativity even more valuable, because those are the things machines just can't do.
Okay, so we know what AI can do, and we know what skills we need to develop. Now we have to talk about the most important step of all, how to use it the right way. Because harnessing all this power means knowing what mistakes to avoid so you can get results you can actually trust.
You know, for every incredible thing AI can do, there's a pitfall you've got to watch out for. It gives you instant answers, but it can also just make stuff up. That's called a hallucination. It creates content in seconds, but you have to be smart about copyright. It's great at analyzing data, but it might have hidden biases. And of course, you always have to be careful about your data privacy. Being a good AI user means knowing both sides of this coin.
Let's just focus on that term for a second, hallucination. This is the #1 trap for new users. It's when an AI confidently states something that is completely, factually wrong. It's not trying to lie to you, it's just generating what it thinks is a plausible-sounding sentence. So here's the most important rule of all. You are always the final editor. Never, ever copy and paste without checking the facts first.
So, the whole point is this. Getting good at AI isn't just about learning a few cool prompts. It's about learning how to use it safely, ethically, and effectively so you can get results you can actually rely on. That combination is what turns this from a fun novelty into a genuinely transformative skill for your career.
At the end of the day, AI is one of the most powerful tools ever put into our hands. Just like a hammer or a computer before it, its true potential isn't about what it is, but what we decide to do with it. It's a co-pilot, a research assistant, a creative partner, all rolled into one. So the only real question left is, what will you build with it?